Welcome to Your Town television program. I'm your host, Paula Joy MacNab. And as always, this is going to be my tagline, I have a great guest for our segment. She's a fascinating, beautiful woman who has inspired me and is enlightening me, and I know she'll do the same with you. Theater seems to be my topic of the day today, and I'm delighted to welcome to the program Chris Caffrey. She's the owner of the Pink Flamingo Theater right here in Monterey on Fremont, and I'm going to have Chris tell you about what she does and who she is. Welcome to the program, Chris.
Welcome, Paula. That was so kind. What a nice introduction.
Well, it's all meant very, very truly.
Thank you. Thank you. So you want to know about my theater?
I want to know about your theater.
Okay.
I want to know about you. I just want to know everything.
So the Pink Flamingo Theater, it's on North Fremont, and I've had the theater now, it'll be 2 years this year, and I concentrate mainly on plays that are written by women, and I look for in actors older women. So women who ordinarily now at my age would be relegated to a chorus or a walk-on part. I look for those women to place in the roles in the plays that we do, because I think they're vital. They have a lot to offer. They bring a lot to their roles that possibly somebody younger might not.
Well, we were talking earlier, Chris, and I think it's so true, about how as women, as we age, we become invisible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know, and I almost think that we're nearly the only country that does that.
Oh, good point.
You look at other countries and you're celebrated for your age or your style, whatever. And here, once you turn 50, it gets dicey for sure. And then, of course, once you turn 60, nobody expects anything out of you. You should, stay at home or play with your grandkids, which is great. And if that's what you want to do, that's perfect. But there's a lot of women out there who are saying, hey, I still have a long life to live, and I want to get on with it.
And a lot to offer.
Exactly.
And a lot to offer.
And they're not given the opportunity. So
why do you think that culture, and you just piqued my interest in this question, Chris, why do you think that culture evolved in this country? Because you're absolutely right. In other countries, elderly women are celebrated.
Oh, I hate to give this answer.
Oh, go ahead.
And this just came to me, actually, is that this may be our own fault.
Sure.
Because if you go back to the 60s, what was the famous phrase? Don't trust anyone over 30.
Absolutely, you're right.
And it was the boomer generation, our generation. We were all young. Everything was youth, out with the old. And we've gotten older, but that idea of youth culture has stayed.
Yes, interesting. So you're really redefining culture with your work.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Along with a lot of others, you're starting to see it here and there. But yes, I want to really think that I'm contributing to that by giving these opportunities to women and saying, no, you have a place in my theater. And I've had women who are older who maybe have never acted before. So I'll give them something smaller to start them out with.
Yes.
I have a woman right now that I'm working with, and in bringing her up, she had 2 lines in one show, and in the next show, she had a bigger part. So it's going and giving those people a chance to share their talents.
Well, and it's probably creating an opportunity where they can stretch outside their comfort zone, because even 2 lines can put people into paroxysms of panic.
Absolutely.
What is it? The greatest fear on earth is public speaking.
Exactly.
Above death, which is always fascinating to me. So you're creating, it sounds like, a safe space, for them to step out and redefining the culture of how women are looked at. So how did you come to this work? This is fascinating.
So in kind of a roundabout way, And at this point, I'm not sure how far you want me to start. I can tell you about the theater, which is
Yes.
interesting in itself. So I had worked for AT&T and I retired. I had done a little bit of acting, but really wanted to develop not so much my acting, but stand-up comedy.
Uh-huh.
And so
Now, were you always funny?
I was a middle child of 3.
You were always funny.
You had to be funny.
See, I could no more do that than fly to pig heaven. I mean, I would die if trying to do stand-up comedy.
And really, in all honesty, my whole family was funny. I mean, my dad was very funny, and but I love it. I mean, I love making people laugh. I just think I love watching somebody who's a genius at it.
Who's really a genius at it?
Wanda Sykes.
Okay.
Is one. Kathy Madigan. If especially Kathy Madigan, she's very well known, but maybe not as much as say somebody like Amy Schumer. But they take everyday stuff and make it funny.
Well, that's what's funny is because we can all relate.
Totally.
Yeah. Totally. Whatever it is, that we can relate and go, oh my gosh, yes.
I can watch them at home by myself and be totally laughing my head off.
That's great.
I don't need anybody there. So I wanted to do more of that. So I started doing some acting, and this was a pivotal moment. I went to an audition. The audition said all ages.
Okay.
Okay, didn't realize at the time that it said all ages except Chris Caffrey's age. But it said all ages.
Okay.
I knew the play. I had an acting coach at the time. We knew in the play what part I would probably be auditioning for. We took a guess. I knew the part almost by heart. Went to the audition. I felt I knocked it out of the park. And I sent the director an email because he complained once that people never check for feedback after an audition. So I thought, okay, I'm not looking to see if I got the part, but my audition, any critiques, whatever. He said, oh, no, you did really great. He said, but the part lends itself to a younger actress. Now, at that point, I was still kind of okay. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And then the roles were announced. This is so typical. It's almost criminal. The woman that was going to play my part, her husband was probably 10 years older than me. And looked it in real life. I mean, we're not talking about an older guy who looked young. He looked it.
Yes.
And she was probably 20 years younger than him. And it wasn't a play about an older man and a younger
woman. Right, that
woman.
wasn't the subject line.
That wasn't the subject line. I in my own little house, I went crazy. I went like, oh, like what? Is this like the end? Like, am I going to have to get Botox and then I'm going to look like Joan Rivers and then where am I going to be? And like, this is like nuts. And I stopped myself. I thought, you got to stop. You just have to stop.
Good for you. That was an act of courage, Chris. That was an act of courage. Good for you.
I was actually looking in the mirror and I thought, okay, this is not even me. This is not me. So I always like that statement that if you don't like what's being said, change the conversation.
Yes. Yes.
You know what? I've never done this before, but maybe I will try producing a play. And we'll do it my way. So I found this great play called Parallel Lives by Mo Gaffney and Kathy Najimy, who you would know her because she played in Sister Act, The Heavyset Nun. And it's a series of one acts, very, very funny. So I got the rights to do it. I auditioned people. We put it on. It was great. It was a huge success. We used the Carl Cherry Center at the time, which is such a great venue.
It's a fantastic venue.
Robert Reese, the guy is great. So I did one more show there, and then on Facebook I saw where the theater that I'm in now became available.
Right, a couple years ago.
And I got in my car. I ran up to. I didn't know the people who own the building people, but I knew the company. It's State Farm, and I went in. I said, I want to rent this. And they're like, oh my gosh, this just happened. How did you know? Oh, Facebook. So I just took that chance. That was the next step, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? You know, if it fails, I'm, know, they're not going to hang me on the wharf and say, oh, look at her, she failed. Let's get rid of her. So that's how that's how I actually got to the theater. It was just a series of steps, but it was one person saying, "You're too old."
Yes, yes.
That made me think, well, wait a second. Then we're going to do something else here because I'm not going to crawl away.
So you've done something recently which is really, really fun, and it's a show called Boomer Love.
Oh my God.
So talk to us a little bit about that, Chris. This is very fun.
Boomer
And you were great
Love.
in it, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Actually, it was just kind of playing me, I think.
I know, that's why you were great in
I was
it.
like eye rolling.
That's why you were great.
But it's a great series that Bob Franco produced and directed and edited. He was magnificent. But it's a great story about baby boomers and what we're going through. And the thing that I like most about it is it is just about boomers.
Yeah.
It's not about boomers being grandparents and isn't this funny or boomers and their kids are moving, your kids are moving in with you and that. It's just about boomers and what goes on and our love life and how difficult it is dating at this age and things that we run into. It's very, very funny. It's very relatable.
Yes.
A very relatable story and just fantastic. So I hope people tune in to see it.
Well, I think that they're very lucky to have you in that role because you are very funny and very relatable. And, it's very inspiring to talk about a beautiful woman who is working and being who she is. And I really relate to you saying, I was just being myself. Well, it's the authenticity of a woman who's a mature woman with experience, with knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
And all women have it. Yeah. They just really do. And it's taking that little step outside. I'll use my older sister as an example right now. She just sent me this beautiful book that she just did of photographs of nature, but they're all like hearts or heart shapes, whatever. Beautiful book with quotes. I keep saying, publish this. Do this and this and this. We can get it published. If it doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Me, I just took it and ran. And she's very apprehensive. So I'm trying to get her to just take one step out of that apprehensiveness. And a whole new world will open up. And even if you fail, so what? But you tried something.
So Chris, how do you obviously have courage in spades. And how do you communicate that to a woman who, whether it's your sister or your sister, woman sister, to say, take that chance?
I usually harass somebody.
Well, harassment works.
I'll be like, no, you have to do that. It's really a passion of mine, because it's so funny, because people do say to me, oh, you're so brave. My whole thing is I just feel I am like too stupid to know I can't do something.
Well, if that works.
That's my whole statement. When people say, oh, you're so brave, I say, no, the thing is, I'm too stupid to know I can't do it.
Oh, that's
so
great,
until
Chris.
until I find I can't do it, I just keep doing it. But it's so important for women, oh my gosh, to just, they know in their heart what they want to do, or they have an idea, but they think, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, I can't. We just get in this box. And if you just stick your toe out of that box a little bit, like do just something.
2 lines.
2 lines, yeah. Get up and do 2 lines.
2 lines, yeah.
And if it's not acting, if it's writing a book, start writing the book.
Yeah.
And
2 lines.
Right. Exactly. 2 lines at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, J.K. Rowling's, I'm not sure about this, but I think she got rejected 17 times.
Oh, at least, yes. Yeah.
And you can't take rejection personally. That's the biggest trick.
Yes.
Is not to take rejection personally.
Yes.
And if you're going to take it personally, then take it and use it to to make yourself better, or
Build
make
on it.
yourself so angry that you're going to show whoever it is that you can and will do whatever they told you you
Yes,
can't do.
yes. Well, watch me.
Exactly.
Watch me. So what are you up to now that women could be involved in, and how could they reach you?
So we're going to be doing a play coming up at the end of February, Love, Loss, and What I Wore, which is written by Nora Ephron and Delia Ephron. So I have that cast right now, but if they're interested in getting involved, there are some things that stand-up stuff that we do monthly. We do a storytelling, which is so simple. Every woman's got a story. You just get up and tell the story. Very supportive audiences. But they can check out my website, which is pinkflamingotheater.org. .org. Or they can always call me at 831-238-2399. Or my email, which is cc.54@live.com.
Okay.
So any of those ways. And if they forget that, if they just
can
look on the
reach
website,
out to me
reach out to you.
And see this on YouTube.
And we'll get them going.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating to me that you are creating opportunities for women in a safe space. And I love that 2 lines.
Thanks.
I mean, because that is a safe way to put your toe out there. And I hope we get an amazing response to this, because it's such you're changing the conversation, Chris.
That's what you have to do. And that's a great statement. You don't like what's being said, change the conversation.
So your conversation for this new play is what?
Oh, for Love, Loss, and What I Wore? Oh, the new conversation for it is it's just looking at your life and your clothes and what they meant to you and all the different stories. I did it as an actress.
Oh.
And when I first read the play, I was like, I don't have anything like this. This is pretty hard to relate. And then the more you start reading, the more you start, oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. I have this. You know, my whole thing is overalls. So overalls have been a part of my life forever. So it's very relatable to women.
Oh,
very relatable.
That is
very fun.
Very fun. Well, Chris, you've made me laugh. You've entertained me. You've delighted me, and I very much hope that and know that women will see this and reach out to you and put their toes out of that box. And it's such a great message that, you did it. We can all do it, regardless of our age.
Seriously. Yeah. If I can do it, anyone can.
So, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. And to our viewing audience, I'm your host, Paula Joy MacNab. This is YourTown Television. Please reach out to Chris. Find out what she's all about. pinkflamingotheater.org. Check her out because she's really great. Thanks for joining us.